Hi everybody, it is April and I'm in my craft room, and today we are going to take 9 fat quarters and make a quilt in 3 hours without binding. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say? Without binding. What was that? I said without binding. There had to be some catch, right? What you need for this project are 9 fat quarters. I went to Walmart, and I know a lot of people do not like the quality of Walmart fabric, and that's fine. You don't have to buy it. That just leaves more for me. 2 things. If you don't have the money to buy fabric at $13 a yard, but you can go to Walmart and get a pack of 5 fat quarters for $6, there you go. If you want to sew, if you want to quilt, you do what you have to do. If you're new to quilting and you don't want to mess up some fabric that costs you $13 a yard, Walmart is the place you can go. You can get some really cute fabric and work your way up. That being said, this is one of my fat quarters. Whoops, got to the last cute print. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut these down to be 18 across by 21 inches. And this is very painful to say. I would not stack them all together. I cut my own fat quarter out of some fabric to make one of these quilts because it was coordinating and I needed another solid piece of coordinating fabric, and my fat quarter was pretty wonky too. So because these can be a little wonky, I cut each individual fat quarter. I know it's going to take some time, but honestly, and I'm all about saving time, it's going to be easier in the long run. And it's 9 pieces of fabric, people, right? 9 pieces. The reason that I start with the 18 inches is because you've got your selvage, and your selvage is going to be the straightest part of your fabric. Now I am using the lines on my large mat, so I'm going to line it up on the right side, and here on the very bottom I am just at 18 inches. So I don't have a whole lot of wiggle room with this particular piece. Here I've got the 22 mark, and I'm going to cut this at 18, which I've already trimmed down, by 21. Usually the 21 I don't have a problem getting. So what I want to do is try and make sure that my selvage is off this edge and that I can still hit my 21 inch mark here. All I'm going to do is sew 3 together, put them up on my design wall, sew 3 together, put them up on my design wall, sew 3 together, put them up on my design wall, and then I'm going to sew row 1 and row 2 together, add row 3, and there I have the beginnings of a disappearing 9 patch. My 9 patch is done, but wait, there's more. This is going to be a disappearing 9 patch. And whereas normally a disappearing 9 patch would be a smaller block, we're just going to make a whole quilt that's a disappearing 9 patch. First we need to fold our block, which happens to be our quilt, in half, and then we're going to fold it in half again. Don't fret over uneven It's okay. This is very forgiving. Do make sure that your little folds are straight. You can work with it to make it more even. Then we are going to cut on the folds on each side, which will give us 4 big blocks. Here you've got the 2 folds together. We're going to trim these folds so that they aren't folds anymore, but edges. What we'll do, make sure they line up. Then I'm going to put my ruler here, line it up on the edge, and just take the teeny tiniest bit off the edge. And then we're going to do the same thing on this fold right here. And this seam is gonna, depending on how wide your ruler is, this seam could give you a little bit of trouble because my ruler just happens to be about the same width. Right here where it was on my seam, I didn't get a good clean cut. And it's just a thread hanging on, so I'm just gonna trim it. So when I tried to go teeny, teeny, tiny, I went too teeny, tiny. So I'm going to lay this down, and I have a small straight edge ruler. So I'm going to line up on the edge that was cut and that's straight. And then I will use my rotary trimmer to finish the cut. So if you run into where there's a little area that didn't get cut, that's what you do. On this one, there was a huge line. It's not huge. So when you're done trimming, you will have 4 big blocks. I've placed my blocks back on the wall in the order they were when I put them together originally. And what makes it a disappearing 9 patch is what we do now. We will take this block and we're going to flip it so that our little yellow corner is in the opposite corner. Then we're going to take the one that was kitty corner, catty corner, and we're going to flip it and put it so that our yellow block that was in the center is now on the outside corner. And then we're going to put all these blocks together, and that will be our quilt top. My quilt top is complete. But wait, there's more. I know. I'm going to put batting and backing on this. I'm going to straight line quilt it, and in a few hours I will have a quilt that's done, minus binding. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you were saying. What did you say? I said minus the binding. Let me show you how I did the quilting. All I did was trace the seam. So I just straight line quilted on either side of the seam. And that is a good way just to break yourself into having to roll up your project in your machine, in the, on the bed part, and, use your hands getting a straight line. I just lined my foot with the seam. So I had to flip it to do the other side and that kind of thing. My quilt top is done. 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 And this has Minky on the back, and there's no way that I'm flicking this guy around. You can already see some of the fuzz flying in the air. This is a perfect pattern for someone who has prints that they want to show off. This is perfect for someone who has never made a quilt before. This is the first pattern that I used to make a quilt with batting and binding. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Click the bell. Have a great day. Eat some chocolate and be kind to everyone. Until next time, bye. They're not, even though they're in the same. Yeah. Used this. Wow. Thank you for watching. And I don't know what else to say. I don't like goodbyes.